Hello everybody. Any University of Cinder points of thunder and bolting into the hammer? Because in that way, when it bolts into the hammer by the rock hard solid state, it does not progress the pro law. No, does not progress the cinder of any kind of points, because in the view of thunderbolts, what kind of root tree will ally itself into the alliance of Thor? Because in the movie, when the gate open, how does that guard know how to open the gate for Thor to open the door? Oh. And to bless her the storm of roots for stems of trees. And in relation to stem of tree, what confusion is the matrix by Imperial? Because the matrix by Imperial is based upon the birth of the sender and to position itself into the ordering compliance of alliance, compliance of marketing material in relation to the fifth review and to support the SOPRO. But in that way, to support the SOPRO, how can we sequel the Thunderbolt in relation to the Unix system? Because my motherboard has Thunderbolt. So in that way, if there is a blaster of snowball, Blitzen into the UL, then does Thor guard open the gate to computerize the godlike system, or is just a flung of port and energizing the mainframe reaction? Because the mainframe reaction is based upon your kind of things to compass how and to outer and stem of streets to know how the electric pole might be, very low into the tunnel of YouTube to open by medical center and to support shopping cart in relation to knowing how to inflame the third amount of technical design. Because the third amount of technical design is an inhalting in the vintage to design any kind of way to prisoner the Thor to hammer, to still the horse. Not really. So in relation to Jesus' library, when there is a horse of LIBS, what kind of imperial is imminent in relation to the matrix to grid the bunker of grid and progressing via of storm? So in that way, progressing via of storm, what kind of insomnia is inhalting, yes, the habitage of hibernation by geckos and to form into greed? The thunderstorm might not be autumn in relation to Outblaster and saving our ECO in relation to monitors and game console by sleeping standby. So by sleeping standby, what kind of things is the power button cannot push into in relation to opening the Miss Peabody tunnel to the unity of metrics and imperial into stream of life. So in that way, when there is a signal in relation to thunderbolt, then the IFG and the ECO is only the IM form in relation to toenail, to grammar, the vocalizational by vocalella. And in that time, the computer system is not an angle of 45 2A plus 5, but the imperial is a minting of stream by roots on the crown dull of captain. So, in the Navy, is there a class rating called captain? Oh, I don't know any class rating in relation to captain. So in the Navy, if you have a captain in relation to your stream of summum in relation to oval of ocean, if there is a battery saver in relation to your way, how would it electrify under the water? You can't, can you? So in relation to the sentence of Thor, do they actually arrogate the storm of energy by battery saver and to somehow pollute into the death of the animal signal and communicating to see how deep they can go into the submarine and the dilemma of dead angel? What? So in that way, how can we retrace the electrifier in relation to the imperial? But it's just a mandarin. So in that way, since it's just a mandarin of a brand name, why is the time stream of life is imperial instead of inmedicine of the cell of Polong by Metti? And in Metti, what kind of train tracks do we convince the British area to see what kind of things that we have already made? So in that matter of time, if we don't need the electric to save our ECO and internal imperial metrics, it uses the bomb to drive through as long as it can. Countryside, Misonon. But it's all alone. But it's all electric, isn't it? In relation to Melbourne to Sydney and blah 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 blah. So what if you want to go up further without electricity, but it's under the track? Oh, or in the track? Oh. So in that way, we can't do it because the wheels barrow. What's wheelbarrow? Oh. The wheelbarrow has a different kind of sarcasm in relation to the imperial, because the imperial is just a mittens of Queen Design. Because in Queen Design, it is imperial in relation to the depth angle of underground. And in underground, How do you do it? Is it electricity? Yeah. So since it's electricity, how can we belong deeper in relation to summary, to Dixon, the dead angel? So in the dead angel, if there is a wing hidden deep down the Poseidon of the matrix imperial, then the dead angel might be working on how to signal the sender to understand the non-electoral. So in that way, seeing medicine is just a manner of pause in relation to the notion of knowing how to cute the tracks and trailer in relation to beacon wagon, no, beaming beacon in relation to no. So in that way, the semesis is eternal in relation to how well we can know, how to know, how come we cannot sequel into any kind of cake maker by book teller. The book teller is an impersonal of a pole, and to roll into any pole in relation to a substitute of imperial. But in imperial, what is the LBS in relation to weight and to compact any kind of degree in relation to the mezzotone of the second one by Seton and Wallow in relation to our body. So in any kind of review to plexi the ana, concentrating into the rotting material is a position to absolute the imperial uni. So in that way, if we can supplement into the incursion of assassin, then the dead angel will be maneuvering into the body of dead wine. So in that way, based upon the imperial, any kind of things that at 11 Danasan, yes, is the Gabrieli by the Midland of Grime Grid to work out his body, because only saw half of his body and was so sharp. So in that way, based upon the imperial of the mission, the silo of Gra grade will be complacent into any kind of things to utilize the Simonson of timer and to also undergrave the yuan. And the yuan is based upon the and sun text LA in relation to the thunderbolt, to know that if the storm can thunder in relation to the third announcement of sticky, then in that way, what kind of reversity is the Simon in relation to dossing the bat of submarine to travel further down in relation to mentioning that the ordering system of the pointer cannot be oblong in relation to noun. Yes. So in that way, the conversion of Samsam is a syntost ono mono phantom. Approximately the imperial LBS is a waylay of weight loss to compound the metrics in relation to your own testosterone as well as the dead angel. So, in as well as the dead angel, what confusion has been flicking into the mass of 92 and 56 and 34 and 21 and 39 and 58 and 92 and 41 in relation to a savant Quiston solvant. So in that way, based upon the matrix, the unity of the matrix is an evening order of unidentified of underflow. So of underflow based upon the ground. The dead angel cannot be minanam to till. The lost fox in relation to the spirit of the sun. So in that way, when we have that in relation to the mental of train driver, to see the deep throb of area and knowing how the mole works. So why does the mole digs hole? To what? Arrogant. The Meluxon opeth by crown dull. No. Dead. So, if there's anything that is dead in relation to the dead, then how come dead is only dying dead to battery dead non-song of knowing ibil of so in that way the embryo is just the manner of Thor. But in this way the Thor hammer is just a Ouija in religio. No. Ouija. And in the Ouija we are not Oloxon into the stream of his own thunder to go for Pasan. But Pasan is Olo in relation to the Stria. And in that way, how can both electric Vatan, the imperial mention of greed, so in that way, 66, 21, Law 2, Belang, 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 oops. So in relation to the CMOS of the Munanan, of knowing how to absecum the thunder of store and to belong the vocation of imper, but imper is just a temple, easy. So in that way, based upon the imperial The symptom of knowing how to warm the irrigaton is that the ILLA we are not profunction. Ah, don't know. So based upon the imperial, what Gresham? Ah, so now you know why I can't read. I love learning, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Things do. Yes, things do. So in relation to things do, readable degree of story, know of answers. Ah, I just read. So what kind of things is imperial to grape? Like that, and so like that, but the dead angel to confirm the sentence of 12 command, but in so based upon Mandarin. Why in China is Mandarin? So Buddha travel over Asia, locking monkey magic. There you go. That's the offer of dead angel. So if there is a wing based upon, oh, I think I got one. So yes, it is. Yeah. So anyway, based upon the dead angel of the fossils, and oh, I can't be bothered. So the depth Anan is the undertunnel of dead flow, and in the dead flow of the undertunnel, based upon London, junction of impection of impel and so forth. The more so we can work out the semeson and the semesis of phototon, the offer to matrix is uniton of So in that way, when we know how to convince the equality in relation to a separation, the photo of Thor, the throb, whatever, is a gay day. And in that way, the gay day is that brain blessing into dead imperial Mandarin butter. Easy, isn't it? Easy. All I'm trying to do is to make some more money. Out of what? To make more money in relation to sub-imperial imminent by assassinating Ray. So in that way, with a basketball player, the Ampansen Ilni in relation to Delirium of Nana is that the Rikisol of the dead angel is that the Milakali is just a chip of money. Huh? But in that way, a chip of money or mini or whatever it is based upon car sales and ilu into the piggy style, it's just the piggy bank does not iplo the imperial into LPS. But the weight loss of LPS is nominal of an. So in that way, the consonant of application form is that we can occur the Michelson of Palala. Because the majority of metrics is the imperial of Bichon An. And in that way, if we can convert into the maturity to understand the Simonson, we cannot convert into any kind of way to offer the accountant by the captain, is it? So in that way, by the captain, how can we sequel into the appliance of his own way and to sequel the immoral? And the immoral is based upon the sunshine of knowing that the belong of Gumby is just a review by Captain General. So by Captain General in relation to disgusting personal of many voices and pieces of song. The reversity of our intermission is that the Mitlik is original in relation to a subcaste and also to Sala in relation to Adessa. And in that way, the Adessa is based upon the Simonson of the C Masoson in relation to our fifth review to support a soul throb. And in that way, to support a soul throb is an indication of knowing how we can know the impure of deeds. It's a middle ground of simple, isn't it? Because in the middle ground of simple, isn't it? It's just a tracer of a sender in relation to classes of general captain. And general captain is based upon the Sala of So in that way, the reversity of our Inca of knowing how to collect the impel based upon our impeller, it is the modern art as well as journal of jewel and to sunshine into the ounces of of something in relation to pointing our review. And in relation to pointing our review, we have not been developing the metacron of the imperial. But the more and eno and ihi is the ili of general. To massacre the ilili in relation to provisioning the plexon. And within that time, once we know how to impute the FTP, we are binary in relation to the cost price and also to and from the metaphor of Celion, segment, semen. So in that time, the imperial will actually outer, inter, sharp, or weightless. And in that time, with the imperial based upon losing our belly button, based upon the substance of general, before we can capitalize more general of easy. But Miss Peabody is only a person of knowing how to shoot the subway in relation to ground floor and also to need the television of Dumlong. And in that time, once we have that, we can also tunnel the position of the polar, and in time, when we work together as the next collaboration, we will interpret the message of something like that in relation to the symptom. But the Simonson is a nono of knowing how to compute the FT5 and also the FT3 conversion of the matrix by into the umbilical of Mandarin. And in relation to Mandarin, the imperial of Mandarin is just an impeller of ounce to capitalize the phototon of synthesis and 12 command. And in relation to 12 command, the prolocution is knowing how to intersect the biblical law of knowing how we can reweave into the pointer and also confunction the occasional. Because in that way, with the fifth law of throw or whatever it is, the Simonson of the imperial is just an announce of sticky in relation to subway under gung. So in that way, if we can sequel into the Palakasam, how do we know that the subdivider is only a Simonson in relation to the Simonson of the imperial to work out that the dead angel is only a Velanan of general. So in that time, once we have a Samsung in relation to provisioning that any kind of things that we can sequel into an imanchan of knowing that the Bakala is a trace of Wim Simpson, no, of sender follow. And in that way, sender follow is a special of knowing how to share the one. And in relation to know how to share the one, is that like I say, into Kototo Edmene of the dead angel to confront the YouTube in underground like that. Jinka. So with the hand cup or hit cup or hand cup or hit cup or this anan of hit cup is that when there is a dead angel releasing the imperial compressor into general practitioner and sergeant captain, then how come Aurora is just bad shot of Andy's crutch?